This is macOS Ken.
More notes ahead of Apple earnings, betas and news for the developer community, and an award for one of Lumen Industries' brightest. It is Wednesday, the 27th of April, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Trade Coffee. Get $30 off your first order plus free shipping at drinktrade.com/macOSCan. This show is also sponsored by Upstart, fair and fast personal loans. If you don't have high-interest credit card debt or other high-interest debt weighing you down, that is awesome. If you do, Upstart might help ease some of that burden. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, Upstart can help you get one fixed monthly payment with a clear payoff date. You're more than just your credit score. Upstart knows that. So instead of just your credit score, Upstart's model considers additional factors like your income, employment, and other information provided in your loan application to find you a smarter rate for your loan. You can check your rate in minutes for loans between $1,000 to $50,000 without impacting your credit score, and you can receive funds as fast as one business day after accepting your loan. Don't wait and check your rate today at upstart.com/macOSCan. UPSTART. That's upstart.com/macOSCan to check your rate today. Don't forget to use my URL to let them know I sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/macOSCan. The march to Apple's March quarter fiscal year 2022 earnings continues, with financial analysts throwing darts. We start with Bernstein research analyst Tony Sacconaghi, who's kind of freaking me out because he's sort of making sense. You heard me. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note he wrote wherein he says he sees potential upside in tomorrow's numbers. According to the Sacconator, iPhone shipments, particularly in China, remain strong, and supply constraints eased, allowing Apple to whittle down backlogs and replenish inventory. That's got he and his expecting revenue and earnings per share that are just a tiny bit ahead of the street. Of course, there are things to worry about, partly because of the state of the world and partly because it is Bernstein research analyst Tony Sacconaghi. Potential points weighing on the minds of investors include lockdowns and restrictions in China that are impacting Apple's suppliers and manufacturing partners, Apple's withdrawal from Russia, which is about 2% of estimated iPhone revenues, material appreciation in the dollar, which could also impact gross margins, reports of sluggish demand for iPhone SE and AirPods, and the overall health of the consumer, especially in Europe. Beating expectations will be key, in Sacconaghi's estimation, as will something like upbeat guidance. He's not expecting guidance, but that thing like it that Apple offers. Sacconaghi has a market perform rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $170, and I gotta say, I don't think Sacconaghi is making a new kind of sense. I think the world has just hit level of Eeyore that makes Sacconaghi seems sensible. Somebody should maybe do something about that. Thinking along similar lines as the Sacconator is Cowen and Company analyst Krish Sankar. Apple Insider writes up a note he wrote. He is also expecting a solid earnings report from Apple, and he is also cautious about what's around the corner. For last quarter, Mac looks good, iPhone looks good, services look good, though he expects revenue to show up flat because of pandemic disruptions to consumer behavior and the lack of new game approvals in China. For this quarter, Apple Insider has Sankar arguing that softer iPhone SE demand and lockdowns in key Chinese manufacturing cities could present a risk to Apple's bottom line. That said, he is still a fan. Sankar has an outperform rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $200. A few more notes like these seem likely between now and tomorrow. After Thursday afternoon, it's all hindsight. That is when Apple will post and host numbers and a call. Earnings for last quarter will hit Apple's site after the closing bell at 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern on Thursday, the 28th of April. Then Apple execs and financial folk will do the conference call thing. That goes off at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. You can hear that as it happens on Apple's investor site. Apple will make it available as a podcast soon after, and of course, we will recap the call here on Friday. Apple's caravan of software betas rolls on. Last week, Apple released the second betas of iOS, iPadOS, and tvOS 15.5, watchOS 8.6, and macOS 12.4 to both developers and public testers. Now, a couple of pieces from Apple Insider say the third betas of the macOS update and the rest are out to developers. While we're who knows how far from public release, there is interesting news around the betas, starting with a potential fix for pricey hardware. Almost as soon as Apple Studio Display landed on people's desks, people started complaining about the quality of the hardware's built-in webcam. Kinda muddy and subpar. Just as quickly, Apple said the problem would be fixed in a future software update. Much less quickly, that seems to finally be underway. A piece from The Verge has an Apple spokesperson saying an update to the Studio Display firmware is now available with Tuesday's beta release of macOS Monterey 12.4. This beta update has refinements to the Studio Display camera tuning, including improved noise reduction, contrast, and framing. I have already seen one article that says that even after the beta, the camera is still subpar. Worth noting, though, it is a work in progress, hence the whole beta thing. The other change of note has Apple playing with your memories, specifically sensitive locations for memories in photos. The piece from 9 to 5 Mac says the third beta of iOS 15.5 appears to block such locations from the feature. If you're not sure what we're talking about, the piece explains that Memories is a feature of the Photos app in iOS and macOS that recognizes people, places, and events in your photo library to automatically create curated collections with a slideshow. It tends to feature happy things, trips to the beach, trips to Vegas, stuff like that. But some memories aren't really memories things. According to the report, the Photos app now has a list of sensitive locations so that any photos taken there will never be added to a memory. Interestingly, all the places banned in this version are related to the Holocaust. Certainly you would want to remember going to the U.S. Holocaust Museum, for example. Probably, though, you don't want pictures from the Holocaust Museum turning up in a slideshow with happy music playing underneath. It is a strange change. Probably not a bad one. There was an Apple update released Tuesday that was not among the many betas. Mac Rumors says the Cupertino company hit with firmware build number 1A301 for AirTag. What changes does it bring? We do not know. When can you have it? We do not know. The piece says Apple plans to provide the firmware on a rolling basis, so not everybody's going to see it right away. 1% of AirTag users should have received it yesterday, 10% on the 3rd of May, 25% on the 9th of May, and it will go fully live to everyone on the 13th of May. Sure, Friday the 13th. Why not? A couple of time-sensitive stories for developers. First, a piece from Cult of Mac says Apple is about to show a bunch of the App Store's outdated apps the exit. The piece says numerous developers say that their applications that aren't being actively updated will soon be kicked from Apple's marketplace. Citing a piece from The Verge, Cult of Mac says the emails from Apple state that this app has not been updated in a significant amount of time and is scheduled to be removed from sale in 30 days. If the developers ignore the warnings, their apps will be taken down. As Apple says, if no update is submitted within 30 days, the app will be removed from sale. Hey, you know what might help some developers along on the update process? A bit of Apple's do-re-mi. It is out there, waiting to be taken, but only for a limited time. A piece from Apple Insider says Apple has warned developers that they have until the 20th of May to place an application to the Small Developer Assistance Fund, or else they could miss out on their share of a $100 million class action settlement. I think if only 5 people apply, they get to split the $100 million, right? Is that how it works? That's not how it works. According to the claims website, according to Apple Insider, anyone accepted to be a settlement class member who meet the criteria will earn a minimum cash payment ranging from $250 to $30,000. As far as how one meets that criteria, the piece says the fund is open to all developers based in the U.S. who sold paid apps or in-app purchases, including subscriptions, through the App Store between the 4th of June 2015 and the 26th of April last year. The developers also must have earned proceeds equal to or less than $1 million from the U.S. storefront for each calendar year that they had developer accounts between 2015 and 2021. More info is available at smalldeveloperassistance.com. More news in a moment, but first, let's top up with a cup of trade coffee. Here are the tasting notes on a bag of store-bought coffee in my pantry. Baking chocolate and dried fruit. Here are the tasting notes on a roast I got from Trade Coffee. Silky smooth and decadently sweet, this coffee's chocolatey vanilla structure and kiss of roast make it something to howl about. Which sounds better to you? You don't have to choose between them, but you should choose to try Trade Coffee. You answer coffee questions to get started. Light or dark? What do you use to make your coffee? Do you grind it yourself or buy it ground? Then they start sending you coffee from craft roasters across the country. I have loved every Trade Coffee I've received. That said, if you're not happy with your first bag, they'll listen to what you didn't like, then put you to work with one of their coffee experts to get a better bag for free. Right now, Trade is offering new subscribers a total of $30 off your first order plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/macOSken. That is more than 40 cups of coffee for free. Get started by taking their quiz at drinktrade.com/macOSken and let Trade find you a coffee you'll love. That's drinktrade.com/macOSken for $30 off. And don't forget about Mother's Day coming up. A Trade subscription is the perfect gift for the coffee lovers in your life. drinktrade.com/macOSken. Apple's opening a new product testing facility in Ireland. A piece in the Irish Examiner says the location near Apple's Hollyhill campus in Cork will test and analyze Apple products for the whole of Europe. The site will employ a range of high-tech equipment, including CT scanners and electron microscopes, with the aim of improving product durability and performance. Kathy Kearney, Apple VP of European Operations, calls the location a natural evolution given Apple's 4 decades in Ireland. Kearney says the testing facility will be the company's first such facility in Europe. According to the Examiner, it is only Apple's 3rd center of its type in the world. News of a new kids series for Apple TV Plus. Apple issued a press release last week announcing Sago Mini Friends, a show celebrating gratitude based on the award-winning Sago Mini World app. The release says characters in the show express their true thankfulness for all things, big and small, through optimism, kindness, preschool-friendly humor, and unforgettable original songs. That last part sounds like a threat. As for the source material, the release says the Sago Mini World app features over 40 games for kids ages 2 to 5 years old and has been recognized by the Parents' Choice Gold Awards, the Webby Awards, the Academics' Choice Awards, and the Kids Screen Awards. Sago Mini World encourages children to play, build, create, and pretend with thoughtfully designed digital games that spark imagination and curiosity. The app is obviously out there now. No word on a release date for the show. We're finally going to see something from Idris Elba's first look deal with Apple TV+. The streaming service issued a press release last week announcing the 7-part thriller Hijack from Elba's Green Door Pictures. Told in real time, according to the release, Hijack is a tense thriller that follows the journey of a hijacked plane as it makes its way to London over a 7-hour flight, as authorities on the ground scramble for answers. Elba will star as Sam Nelson, an accomplished negotiator in the business world who needs to step up and use his guile to try and save the lives of the passengers, but his high-risk strategy could be his undoing. Probably won't be, though. No word from Apple on when the series will premiere. With the Essex Serpent drawing closer, Apple TV Plus has released a trailer for the show. The Cupertino streamer issued a press release Tuesday teasing the title. According to that, the Essex Serpent follows London widow Cora Seaborn, played by Claire Danes, who moves to Essex in Victorian England to investigate reports of a mythical serpent. She forms a surprising bond of science and skepticism with a local pastor, played by Tom Hiddleston. But when tragedy strikes, locals accuse her of attracting the creature. The first 2 episodes hit Friday the 13th of May, followed by 1 episode a week on subsequent Fridays through the 10th of June. The trailer is available now on YouTube. And finally today, another award win for an Apple TV Plus actor. Cult of Max says Severance lead Adam Scott will get this year's Webby Award for Best Actor. According to the Webby website, Scott strikes multi-dimensional chords with the audience. His performance is incredible. It leaves the audience questioning at every turn of the show. The audience is gripped the whole way along, and Adam's performance is why. For bringing his talents to the streaming screen in Severance, it is our pleasure to honor Adam Scott as the 2022 Webby Best Actor. Not to quibble, but Scott's performance is one reason why. The writers, the directors, the designers who do like triple duty in this show, and the people with whom he's working, yeah, they kind of help too. Not to take away from his Webby. He'll get the award in the city so nice they named it twice. The 2022 Webby Awards ceremony will be held on Monday, the 16th of May, in New York, conveniently located in New York. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Upstart. Fair and fast personal loans. Learn more and check your rate at upstart.com/macOSken. This show is also sponsored by Trade Coffee. Get $30 off your first order plus free shipping at drinktrade.com/macOSken. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Cha.